Why do I feel like Mattel took what was great, what was unique about Harvey Rodcap in kind of the gunmetal chrome element to him and turned it into a dull looking gray on the Thailand variant of him? And maybe I can have my mind changed as we go on through this review, but it is a little painful at first glance here to see a cutting edge, shiny, I love the almost bare metal Zamac aesthetic that the Chinese version gives off, and then you just go to a very flat gray on the Thailand version. But before we get into all that, it's actually kind of crazy. This video is going to contain elements from a previous video because I actually unboxed Harvey in my review of the Thailand variant of Bury the Pedal because they were originally in a 2-pack together, but I wanted to review them separately, give them each their own flowers. So I'm going to now cut to a segment of that video along with the unboxing, so enjoy. This is an older 2-pack, actually dating back to November of 2022. It was a part of the 2023 main line. I remember I got on Mercari. I was very excited because it was the first place that had any 2023 2-packs. I don't know how. The seller said they got it from like a random discount store. It wasn't even like a chain or anything, but they were the first person in the world to have these 2-packs. But nothing crazy, as all these don't include any new releases, but all of them, launched with that first case of 2023 2-packs. Maddie McGear and Christopher Scopsy, who we reviewed, I believe, last year. Conrad Camber and Joas Carvers, might review them in the future. You have Jet Robinson, Caleb Worley, and then Flo and Saludos Amigos Ramon, all of which from Cars 3. So again, not a great set to launch with, but I mean, still some interesting combos and some familiar faces at the same time. And yeah, the package came absolutely mangled, so I knew from day one I was going to open it for the Thailand variants, but it just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed all the way to the point. Here we are a year and a half later after attaining it, even more than that now, and it is finally graduating from being background fodder. It always used to sit back there. I'm sure you guys might have seen it in the background before, and it's graduating to being opened, right? So very excited about this. But yeah, Harvey Rodcap, Bury the Pedal, both of which have been released from Thailand in the past. Harvey released as a 2020 single, Bury dating back to 2019 here in the Desert Horizon collection. And I've just pulled this off the wall of shame, but it's on a pretty good card, so obviously we're going to open up the 2-pack instead. And yeah, it's an interesting combo, but it's not really like a movie moment or anything of that nature. And it wasn't a rare pack. I feel like I've still seen some like lingering on the pegs, maybe as soon or as late as just a few months ago. But I'll be right back with this all opened up. Now that you've seen where this guy was birthed from, let's get into the review here by showing where Harvey appears in Cars 3. Obviously, more of a background racer. Well, is a background racer. He doesn't have any speaking lines, but he does get a few frames where he is more prominently shown than some other next-gen racers. So there's that. Let's get into it now with a side-by-side comparison between the Thailand version and the Chinese version. Now, the Thailand version has been released a couple times, first in 2020 as a single, and then, of course, that 2-pack. And now the Chinese version, previously only available in a Amazon exclusive, or really an online exclusive 10-pack. It was in the same vein as the online exclusive 5-pack that featured Aaron Clocker, who was even rarer until his 2020 Thailand release. But both Chinese versions are pretty hard to come by. And I think that's maybe kind of a good thing because the Chinese version is pretty special. I think it's going to hold up really strongly compared to the Thailand version. While it may, the Thailand version may have made the Chinese version a little easier to get temporarily, I think looking back on it, the Chinese version is going to be pretty coveted. I haven't checked prices in a while, but I would expect those to creep back up into astronomical territories. But you can see they've changed the expression a little bit by giving him an eye plate that's a separate plastic piece, not a part of the main metal body. The eyes are positioned pretty much the same, and you have the frowny mouth, but obviously the color drastically altered to this dark, muddled gray, and it does have a little bit of a spectraflame, like a little sparkle and a little metallic almost, but it really doesn't compare to the bare metal finish that you get here on the Chinese version. And now I do think that the Thailand version actually might be a little bit more accurate to the movie. So is it right of me to even complain? Although, even if the Chinese version looks better, the Thailand version might be more accurate. It's a tough water to tread. Like, this is a tough position. I think a lot of people will err on the side of accuracy, which I totally get, but just hard to kind of go back when we were presented with such a really cool, unique paint job on the Chinese version. But you can see they also changed up those white triangle specks here. They made the pattern within them a lot stronger looking, a lot more well defined. And in fact, before, it is so faint. I do see it in there a little bit, but it is pretty much non-existent. So I do think that's kind of a plus for the Thailand version. That's an interesting little pattern that I think benefits the design overall. You do have the Easy Idle logo there in the center, a lot darker blue, a little grainier on those patches, either the side ones or the center Easy Idle one. Definitely just sandpaper texture looking. It's the best way to describe it. It isn't smooth, it isn't pure, it isn't a solid color, right? Take a look at the wheels. The silver trim on the Chinese version's a lot more visible. And yeah, it's there. There is a gray trim on the Thailand version, but it is minimal at best. But yeah, you do still obviously have the black wheels. Contingency sponsors, Piston, Combustor, Carbon, Cyber, Synergy. Pretty clear on the Thailand version. As far as contingency sponsors go, they look pretty good. I don't think they're as crisp as the Chinese version, but I don't think any of us would expect them to be just based on Thailand's history. And then you could see the white pattern here that, again, is a little bit more accentuated. You could see like the bricking almost is just more defined. You could make out each piece, each brick, way easier than you were able to before. That being said, though, all of these decals, all of that pattern is a lot more muddled, not as clear cut, just doesn't feel as manicured as the Chinese version does. Look at that blue compared to how sharp it is down here on the Chinese version. The exhaust pipes there, way more crisp, clear, all of the above. That looks disgusting, and I know we're looking at different sides here, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Doesn't look good. Those exhaust pipes look fantastic down there with the silver outline. You just don't get that same effect on the Thailand version, not even close. $15 there on the roof with the roof flaps. Again, just not a solid shade of blue. It's got that sandpaper-esque vibe. You do have the window bars here now, the black window bars there. That's just something that's kind of come with the times, not necessarily Thailand versus China. A lot of the older, or rather I should say more recent Chinese racers did have the window bars as well. You got the Easy Idle text there on the wing looking a lot different. In fact, that's more clear cut than anything. It's a lot more one-dimensional. Here I feel like there's an outline, there's a shadow added to the Easy Idle text, but that is omitted from the Thailand version. And you got the Easy Idle logos there, nothing too crazy. Exhaust pipe. Easy Idle logo, racing, yellow rookie stripes. Yeah, it looks fine there on the back. But just look at the white and it's like a cookie cut out of a pan. It's perfect, right? On the right, the Thailand version's like, yeah, you kind of cut it. You got it okay. It's decent, but you didn't do a great job. You definitely could have cut it better. You did a little sloppy of a job. that's how the Thailand version feels compared to the Chinese version. Let's take a look here at the base. This guy was produced during the 37th week of, I think that was 2021 maybe. No, yeah, that might have been 2021. It was a long time ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just forgot what R represents. T is 2024. So, yeah, I guess T, S would have been 23. I guess R then would have been 2022. Right? I think so. I think that's right. Yeah. All right. The base of the Chinese version, 1567 EAA. So this guy was produced on the 156th day of 2017 at the EAA factory. That tracks because this was a late release in 2017. Like I said, it was an online release. So there you have it. I think the Thailand version of Harvey in particular is significantly worse. While it may be a little bit more accurate color-wise, I think you lose a lot in other departments. You know, the wheels, that's a big detriment. I really love the silver trim. It's something you don't get that often. You get a lot of colorful trims, but silver trim, that's pretty unique. I like that. You just don't have that translated well to the Thailand version. And obviously a couple other things that we went through that just are not executed as well as they were on the Chinese version. And I think with some other next gens, they do a better job of it than on others. And Harvey, unfortunately, is one of the ones where they just didn't do a great job. It's one of those head-scratching, what the hell moments. I think, you know, with some of these other Thailand next gens, Mattel did a much better job. I actually like Rich Mixon a lot, and maybe it's because he has some metallic elements to him now, so he's a little different to the Chinese version in a better way, or maybe more of just a unique way. Maybe Bubba Wheelhouse here, who has a better expression, maybe a better color palette, I'd say. Aaron Clocker, I think, is one that a lot of people argued was more accurate from Thailand with the brighter red, but also some losses like this patch right here is kind of that gunmetal, bare metal chrome that Harvey features that they removed when they did Aaron from Thailand. You got J.D. McPillar here. J.D. McPillar is kind of just like a meh, whatever. Thailand Next Gen, don't really have an opinion too strongly on him. And then Nick Shift, who we only know from Thailand unless you want to count the Chinese factory custom. But yeah, just a couple comparisons there among the same model. And here we have the entire team leakless in the background. You got your Cars 1 racer Ruby Easyoaks, who he ultimately kind of replaced twofold. You got Carl Clutchin, who he directly replaced here. A very rare Cars 3 stock car. Used to be rare when he was only released from China because that was an international only release, but the Thailand version helped out with that. You got the Pity over here, the unibody version from 2015. A factory custom pickup truck. You got the Pity's tool cart and wheels, and then some canceled items, including the semi-cab, which is pretty freaking awesome. And my personal favorite here of the team, the canceled crew chief. I just love the model, which although it's not unique, I mean, Mandy Frudenbender, Bumper Save crew chief all use this model. He's got a really cool expression, just kind of worried. And as he should be. I mean, he got axed. He was very close to getting released in 2010, but you know, the writing was on the wall when not only were the Bumper Save and Octane Gain team sets extremely hard to find themselves, barely reached the US, the Nitro 8 team set pretty much only hit Canada, and it was at a store, Target, that ultimately went out of business. So not great. Easy Idol and N2O Cola would have been next up, and yeah, I mean, I don't know how to quantify how close they were to being released, but as far as canceled items go, they were probably a lot closer than a lot of these other haulers that we see, like the Easy Idol hauler, tank coat, toe cap, retread, fiber fuel. All those haulers were a lot further down the pipeline. But that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know in the comment section below, who is your favorite member of Team Easy Idol? Thank you guys as always for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys soon for another video. Bye now.